Next, we're going to go over riding in the U.S. and the different road rules we have over here and some of the different signs and signals that you might not be used to. So we're going to go over these pretty quick. First of all, we will be riding as a group as mentioned in the previous video. And when we are riding as a group, we will stay within about 5 miles an hour of the posted speed limit. Now, the speed limits on the interstates here can vary quite a bit. They can vary anywhere from 55 miles an hour all the way up to 85 miles an hour, depending on what state you're in and what interstate you're on. So they can vary quite a bit. So pretty fast in some places, slower in others. Now, what we have here instead of roundabouts is we have four-way stoplights. We got a lot of them. We do have roundabouts, but not nearly the same amount as everywhere else in the world. So we'll have all the stoplights. Believe me, there's quite a bit of them on some tours. So it's the same as anywhere else in the world. It's the red is stop, yellow is hazard, and of course green is go. That simple. Same as everywhere else in the world. Okay? Now, when we are going through the stoplights as a group, we are going to get split up. Don't worry about this. We've got a way of handling it. Whenever we get split up, the support guide in the support van is going to radio to the motorcycle guide, hey, I got 5 bikes at the light. That tells the tour guide, the motorcycle guide in the front, that they're stuck, we're split up by a light, so they will either slow down or pull over and stop until the support driver tells the motorcycle guide, green light. Once that happens, the motorcycle guide will start moving again so that the whole group is moving by the time the back half of the group is caught up. So that way it saves some time and we don't end up getting split up all over the place. Works out really well. We've been doing it a long time. It's always worked great. So remember, if we do get split up, don't try and run a red light. Don't even try and run a yellow or amber light. Go ahead and stop. We want to do this safely. We'll know about it. The motorcycle guide will know about it. And we have a way of dealing with it. So don't try and run a light. It's not worth it. It's not worth your safety. Don't worry. We're not going to lose you. Okay? Next is the turn arrows. Now, we have different turn arrows over here for left turns, a few right turns, but mostly on left turns. So on the signals, there'll be your regular red, amber, yellow, and green light. And then beside it, there will be some turn arrows. There's a red turn arrow, an amber turn arrow, and a green turn arrow. Now, when the turn arrow is green, that means the left turn is a protected left, meaning oncoming traffic has to stop. Once it turns to amber, that means it's about to become a not protected turn. So that way, all the oncoming traffic will start moving. So be careful about that. Now, if there's a red arrow, that means you have to stop and wait until there's a green arrow again. If there is no red arrow, that means that you may still make a left, but only when the traffic allows you to. Only when there's no oncoming traffic. Ride for your own safety, of course. And then also, there's a flashing amber left turn or a flashing yellow left turn arrow. If it is flashing, that means that it is no longer a protected turn, but you may make a left-hand turn when it is clear to do so, when the oncoming traffic is not there. When it's safe to make that left, go ahead. But that's for a flashing yellow arrow, okay? Very simple. Once you see it in action, you'll get an idea, okay, I see how it works now. It's pretty simple. It's not that hard. Occasionally, we will have a right turn arrow, and this is typically just a green arrow. And when that green arrow is on, that means the cross traffic has to stop. But once that green arrow goes away, that means traffic from the left or cross traffic is going. They have the right of way. Okay? Very simple. Now, here comes the one that does most people's heads in. This is the one that confuses some people, and that is the stop signs. We have a lot more stop signs over here than we have roundabouts. We're getting more roundabouts, but the overwhelming majority is still stop signs. And we don't have just two-way stop signs. We have four-way or all-way stop signs. So let me explain this. When there's a stop sign, right below the sign, there will be a smaller sign that will say two-way or cross traffic does not stop, all-way or four-way. If it's, of course, cross traffic does not stop, self-explanatory. That means the cross traffic isn't going to stop and you have to wait for it to be clear before you can cross the intersection. The one that confuses most people is the four-way or all-way. This means all directions of traffic must stop. Now, who has priority? Well, whoever comes to a complete stop first is the one that has priority. You must come to a complete stop, and then once it is clear, or it's your turn, then you go. When we do this, typically we take turns. It's east and west will go, and then north and south. One vehicle each direction, okay? So both east and west will go, and then north and south will go. And we'll just keep alternating and taking turns. That's the way it goes, okay? Watch out for people turning there too. Keep an eye out for turn signals, and even people just turning without signaling. It happens, just like anywhere in the world. So that's how we do that. The four-way intersections are a bit tricky at first, but you'll figure it out. If you have any questions, just please ask the tour guide. They'll be more than happy to explain it again, but you'll get used to it pretty quick, okay? And we can do 2 motorcycles at a time at a stop sign, not just one, so we can go through in pairs. But remember, we alternate. Now, if for some bizarre reason that vehicles come to a complete stop at the same time at a four-way intersection, the vehicle to the left always has the right of way. Sometimes this is a little bit difficult, but it's easy to figure out after a while. And you'll see. Also, make eye contact or look at all the other vehicles or all the other drivers to get kind of an indication as to what you think they may do or what they're indicating they're going to do. Okay? It's very common in some rural areas to where we'll have a whole group of bikes pull up to a stop sign, and the cross traffic or other traffic, they will actually be waving a group through. They're actually pretty friendly out there. You'd be surprised. So if they're waving us through, be sure and check. Make sure you look at all directions to make sure all the directions are waving us through, not just one, because somebody might be waiting for us, letting us go, but another direction is saying, no, I'm going to go. They might be in a hurry or something. Who knows? But occasionally that does happen. If that happens, then we just roll through, okay? But always check the drivers at the stop signs in the other directions to make sure it's safe to go, okay? Look at the other drivers. That's a big thing, okay? Watch for turn signals as well at those four-way stop signs. That'll give you a good indication. There's even some 5-way stop signs, 6-way even, but those are pretty rare. That's where they tend to put in a stoplight or a roundabout. So there are a lot of stop signs. Don't worry, you'll get used to them, okay? One more thing I do need to tell you about is over here, unless it is posted at an intersection, okay, unless it is posted at an intersection, it is legal, it is allowed to make a right-hand turn at a red light. That's perfectly legal. Just make sure there's no sign anywhere around that says no turn on red or no right on red. Just be careful about that. You must come to a complete stop, check, make sure the traffic is clear, and then if it is clear or you have an opportunity, then you are allowed to make a right-hand turn on red. That's perfectly fine. And one last thing I do need to mention, over here in the United States, undertaking or going past another vehicle in the slow lane is perfectly legal. There's no law against it. Undertaking is legal. Of course, overtaking is. But undertaking is also legal. That usually does some people's heads in. Okay? That usually makes people take a second look at, what? How did he do that? It's legal over here. There's no law against it. So just be prepared. Sometimes we might be going in the left lane and all of a sudden we're overtaken in the other lane. All right? It does happen. So that's about it. Of course, if you have any questions about riding in the U.S. or just questions in general, don't hesitate. Give us a call. Drop us an email. We'd be happy to answer. That's why we're here. Okay? That's why we're here. We're here for you. And until next time, remember, keep the rubber on the road and the shiny side up.